Welcome to ChiroSecure's Empowering Women in Chiropractic, the Facebook Live show for successful women by successful women, proving once again women make it happen. Join us each week as we bring you the best in business growth, practice management, social media marketing, networking, leadership, and lots more. If it's about women in practice and business, you'll hear it here. Now join today's host, Dr. Cathy Wendland-Colby, as she talks leadership, community, and juggling it all. And now, here's Dr. Cathy.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Empowering Women in Chiropractic. I'm your host, Dr. Cathy Wendland, and I'm really excited about this topic that we're going to dig into today because this is a very important topic. This is one that keeps coming up. This is one that I just spoke about for 16 hours the past week and in several different classes at Life University. And today we're going to talk about how to protect your interests with your personal injury cases. There's no time to wait, so let's just dive right in, because when it comes to seeing patients, and whether you're a PI practice or you're a family practice, you're a wellness practice, every now and then, guess what? Your patients are going to get into car accidents, and your community is going to be involved in some form of injury. And sometimes your best family of five leaves your office on the way to the grocery store or the soccer field or to karate, and they get into a car accident. And who's going to take care of them? You. But you want to make sure that when you're taking care of them, not only are you delivering the best quality care that you know how to deliver so that your patients can absolutely get better and get back to their wellness lifestyle, but you want to make sure that you are protecting your interests. Because all too often I speak to chiropractors who feel like they got burned or they had something not exactly ideal occur with an injury case. So first and foremost, we want to start with the end in mind. Think about day one, when that new patient walks into your office that's in pain. They've been injured. It's no fault of their own. They're aggravated. It's disrupting their lifestyle. It's costing them money. They're stressing out about how to get their car fixed. Everything seems to be crushing down on them. And all they want to know is, what's it going to take to get me out of this pain? How long is it going to take to get me better? They're not thinking about money. They're not thinking about settlements. They're thinking about, how do I fix my car? And how do I fix my body so that I can get back on with my routine? And during your day one, that's the time when you need to make sure that your patients are signing pertinent paperwork, because they're not thinking about their settlement. They're not thinking about their case. They're thinking about their pain. They're thinking about their schedule. They're thinking about their car, and they're thinking about how much it's going to cost me and how long is it going to take to get me back to normal. So during your day one visit, you should have your patients signing documentation. First and foremost, they need to sign a release for information so that they can authorize you to release their medical information, their chiropractic information, to their insurance company or to the third-party payer. Number two, you should have them signing an authorization for direct payment to the doctor, meaning you're authorizing the insurance company, whether it's their own insurance company or the third-party payer, to pay you directly. That's important. You want that signed in the beginning of care, at the onset of care. When they're not thinking about pain, when they're not thinking about settlement, they're thinking about pain, because that's the time to sign this. And then you want to have them sign a lien, which essentially says, in the event of a settlement through an attorney or other means, that you have a lien on that settlement. Now, some states, like the state I'm in, which is Georgia, do not have a lien law that protects chiropractors. It's never been fought for. The lawyers have lobbied against it. The legislators have never pushed it through. The chiropractic associations have not come together collectively to really push that through. So in the state of Georgia, our liens are not honored. That means if the hospital sends in a lien, the hospital gets paid first. But if the chiropractor sends in a lien, typically the whole settlement just gets sent either to the attorney or to the patient. So that's important that you have that lien, and you can choose to file it if it works in your county, if it's something that you choose to do, or you can just hold it and submit it if there's an attorney on record. Now, the fourth piece of paper that I always have my patients sign is just a standard form that stays within the office. We typically don't have to use it for anything, but it is a piece of paper that states that I, as the patient, understand that insurance is a contract between me, the patient, and the insurance company, and that there might come a time where I, the patient, receive the check for services rendered by the doctor. I understand that I am fully responsible for paying for all services rendered at the time of settlement. So that's just a simple form that we have the patient sign, because in the event that they do get a check way down the road, we've already made sure that they know they're supposed to pay us. We know they're supposed to pay us, and it's written and signed by the patient. So that really is a cover your tail in the end kind of situation. So we use that very sparingly, but we have it signed on all of our injury cases. Now, there's a difference between if the person has their own health insurance or car insurance or medical payments rider that's going to be covering and participating in paying for the care sustained due to that injury. And then there's the other side, which is if they have a third party payer, meaning the responsible driver that hit your patient, their insurance company becomes a third party payer. So they're either going to pay the patient directly or hopefully pay you. Now, if you're watching this and you've ever been in a situation where the third party payer sent the check directly to the patient and then you never saw your payment, I mean, I know that feeling. We've all been there. A lot of the doctors that I work with have been there. We work to clean that up so that it does not become a problem ever in the future. And one of the best ways that will help you in that situation to prevent it is to basically have the patient on day 1 or 2 make a phone call to the claim rep. And during that phone call, they're going to give an irrevocable authorization for direct payment to the doctor. There's a lot of power in that verbal irrevocable authorization because they can't change it. They can't take it back. It's verbal. They might leave it on the claim rep's voicemail. They might speak directly to the claim rep. But either way, what it does is it creates a better relationship between your office and the third-party insurance company. So now the insurance company knows that they're going to work and deal directly with you. What does that do? As the negotiations are going on, they'll stay in contact with you. When you release the patient and you submit all your bills and your records and all your documentation, they're more likely to reach out to you and say, thank you, we received everything. We'll let you know as the case progresses. It just opens the lines of communication so that now you are the one, and your office, your staff are the ones having the conversation with the insurance company and essentially lobbying for your best interest. Obviously, we want the patient to get the care that they need, but it's essential that you get paid for the services that you rendered. So when you start off by handling the paperwork up front, have that ready to go, have the patient sign it, and make sure they understand that we're going to be taking care of you, but we're going to get paid at some point for the care that we rendered to you. And here's the documentation that helps us to submit to the insurance company on your behalf so that you don't have to come out of pocket every visit. Patients love that because anyone who's ever been involved in an accident can tell you the last thing they want to do is start shelling out money. As bad as it is, they've already got to pay their deductible to get their car fixed, and they might have to pay to rent a car until they get reimbursed someday down the road. So the last thing they want to do is start paying out more money due to this injury. So every time we are able to make it a little bit easier for them, they're going to love coming into your office. And of course, they're going to love the care that you're giving them because that's what they need. They want to get better. They want to get back to their normal routine. They want to be out of pain. They want to be done with this, and they want to move on. So let's make it easy in the beginning by having all the documentation necessary prepared and signed by the patient day 1, day 2, or day 3. Now, somewhere along the course of their care, as they start to improve, they start thinking about money. They start thinking about their settlement. They start thinking about their case and whether or not they need an attorney or they want to handle this on their own. But as they start shifting into that place where they feel better and they're not exactly in as much pain as they were, and it's almost bearable, or it starts to come back more toward their normal feeling and they're starting to feel back to normal, their mind is going to start shifting into how much longer do I have to come in, or when am I going to be released, or can you give me a copy of the bills, or can you submit for me? Because they're now starting to think about their settlement. They're starting to think about going back to their normal routine. And unfortunately, sometimes they're starting to think about getting paid. And when they're thinking about getting paid, they're not really thinking about doing the right thing. Sometimes, not all patients, but some patients are not exactly thinking about doing the right thing when it comes to your office. And so you want to protect yourself, because if they get a check that has a lot of zeros on it, they sometimes will justify keeping that check. They'll even call the insurance company and ask the insurance company, what is this check for? And when the insurance agent says, well, that's your reimbursement check, somehow they manage to justify in their mind, shake your head if you're listening to this and you've been there and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Somehow they manage to justify in their mind that that reimbursement check belongs to them. I mean, it's got their name on it and it has lots of zeros in it. So they start to justify. And the statement that my staff has been trained to always use is, do you understand the definition of the term reimbursement? Reimbursement means you would have had to have laid out that money first, then the insurance company is reimbursing you. But because our office took care of you, contingency, right, waiting for you to get paid, you have not paid for your care yet. So therefore that check is in payment for our services. So we try to keep a very open, very comfortable line of communication with all of our patients. But one of the things that really helps is continuing to educate patients, just like we would a wellness patient. If somebody comes in for a crisis because they hurt themselves at work, or just an overuse injury, or a slip and fall or a car accident, sports injury, I'm still going to educate them the same way so that they understand right now you're experiencing a symptom. And right now, our goal is to get you out of pain, get you more comfortable, start to help the body function a little bit better. But we're not done there, because we have to keep the body in alignment, and that takes time and repetition. And so I'm going to have that wellness lifestyle continuing conversation with all the patients. And I recommend that you do that as well, because as your injury patients are starting to get better, you may decide to just release them and they're done, or you may decide to educate them about, look, we've made a great correction. You've gotten a lot of relief. Your body's starting to function better. You're able to do your normal daily routine again. How about we help you maintain that through safe, gentle, and effective chiropractic care, so that we can keep your spine in alignment and keep your nervous system functioning free of interference, so that you can continue to function at your best level. So as you start transitioning them from their injury care to their wellness care, it's important to understand that their needs are going to change. So future pace, anticipate what their needs are going to be. There is going to come a time when they'll have a question about, once my case is done and I'm not under the insurance anymore, then what does it look like financially for me to come in? And that's your opportunity to have them sit down with your staff or sit down with you and have a conversation about ongoing care and how it works in your office. So listen, don't hesitate to take on those PI patients. And as I say to my students every time I teach my business class at Life University, I was the accident patient. I was hit by a tractor trailer. I got hurt. And that's the only reason I ever set foot in a chiropractor's office. And I think that I've had a pretty good contribution to the profession. And I know that I've had a pretty good contribution to the students who are in my office, and certainly to the patients that I have the opportunity and the privilege to put my hands on. And I would not be here if it wasn't for the fact that I was in a car accident. It would have never dawned on me to go to a chiropractor. So don't turn your nose up. Don't turn these people away. Understand that they need care just as much as everybody else, sometimes even more. So make sure that you are delivering the care that they need, documenting it, making sure that you're protecting your office, protecting your interests, and helping those patients make the transition from injury care to wellness care. Listen, if you want a copy of those forms that I use in my office, I'd be happy to share them with you. We'll put the link in the comment section, but you can simply email my staff at colbyfamilychiropractic@gmail.com. We'll send over the forms that we use. You could just alter them to use them in your office. It'll make it really easy for you so that you can start to protect your interests while taking care of your PI patients, knowing that you're able to give them the best quality care, help them on their journey toward health, and still not have to worry about what's going to happen when the case settles, because you'll know that you've protected yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this week. It's always an honor and a privilege to be here with Empowering Women in Chiropractic. I want to invite you to join us back in 2 weeks when Dr. Nicole Lindsay will be here to share some of her expertise with you. to really help you continue to grow and provide excellent care to your community. And really listen, when we come together as chiropractors, as women in chiropractic, and as people who love to give and serve and love to our communities, we grow, we learn tools and tricks and strategies and tips, and we get better at going out and doing it. So let's do this together. Let's help our communities get healthy, stay healthy, and live wonderful lives. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you next time.
Join us each week as we bring you the best in business growth, practice management, social media marketing, networking, leadership, and lots more. If it's about women in practice and business, you'll hear it here. We hope you enjoyed this week's Facebook Live event. Please like us on Facebook, comment, and share. We look forward to seeing all of you next week for another episode of Empowering Women in Chiropractic. Now, go ahead and hit the share button and tell your friends and colleagues about the show. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day. This has been a ChiroSecure production.